I'm going to leave mine. Let's see how this Instagram Live looks. Show starts in 3 minutes, people. You got time to get snacks and anything you might need. Come on, Instagram Live. Does it stand up like that and look all right? Or like, no? I don't know how I feel about that. It's like too far to the side.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that actually disappoint me. That's just because I'm like a critic. Come on.
Everybody's a critic. I'm gonna move this folder. This room is just, they make it really hard to like set your stuff up.
Yeah. And that is facts, my
I don't
friend.
really like the angle. We gotta get you in the shot.
I like the Facebook Live.
I'm gonna do both.
You can put Insta over here.
You think it'll go?
If you can, wherever you want.
Just make sure we're both in it good. You can start it too. I'm gonna start playing commercials. We're gonna go. It says live on the bottom.
I know.
All right, we go air show. Boom.
Hold up, we're having trouble. It says it won't start. It won't start, bro. Your connection's like messed up.
Dude, come
Are
on.
you bumping right now?
I was about to click one, but this
one?
isn't.
Click one.
Yeah. Got no volume though.
Do you want to get the guy, man? We have no value.
'Cause we're not live. I don't know if Air Show has to be in program as well.
Yeah, it has to be something.
I don't know why I can't hear it though. Air Show.
Oh, no.
Hey, Com Radio listeners, be sure to tune in this weekend for a great slate of Penn State
When's your
sports
show?
contests.
In 30 minutes.
Penn State baseball opens up its home regular season schedule with a series against the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. First pitch at 4 p.m. Saturday, the Diamond Lions are at it again with a doubleheader against the
I know.
Riverhawks starting at 5
Yeah, that's
p.m.
Josh.
The first pitch of the second
He,
game will be 45
I heard he was the freshman of the year last year in
of
Com
game
Radio.
one. On Sunday, Penn State series.
All right, I'm playing the intro after this. Let's get some comments. We're talking basketball. What questions do you have about NBA? We're not getting to March Madness probably until next week.
Com Radio, news, sports, talk.
Playoffs are coming up. About 15 games left in the regular season. Got that intro going.
That's the hottest intro out.
That is a hot intro, I gotta say.
Basketball's premier debate show, giving you the hottest.
If someone told me that was the hottest intro they ever heard, I would believe them.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
How come it's coming up red over there?
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
It's coming up real
I
loud.
don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win.
Welcome to First In State with David Green and Jamal Ellerbe, the number one basketball debate show on Com Radio, where we cover
Number one show. Number one debate show. I left this here last night and it's still here. I'm so happy. I'm kind of annoyed that my Instagram Live didn't work. I'm actually going to try it again real quick.
I got you. I can post up. We're here at First in State on this lovely Tuesday, 2:30 through 3. Stay with us. I'm Jamal Ellerbe, and this is
David Green alongside Jamal Ellerbe. Thanks for dropping by, guys. Just trying to get the Instagram Live up right now, and we're going to jump right into it. What's our first topic, Jamal? I think Serge Ibaka kind of gave a lot of people a scare yesterday.
I think our first topic is that kung fu fighting we saw against Serge Ibaka and Marquise Chris. I don't think that's what basketball's about, and I don't think that's acceptable at all. Serge really put his team in a detrimental position there. Why? Because he's going to be suspended for how many games? Maybe like 3, 4. And at this point, chemistry is what you need. Serge is going to mess up the chemistry. Serge is going to be out. I think he will come back, but, like, at the end of the day, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. I did not see anything that warranted that attack. Okay, some chippy, no warning. Serge just went after him on a hunt.
Yo, Marcus Chris must have been bothering him all game long. I mean, for Serge Ibaka, an NBA veteran who's played in NBA Finals, to, like, actually do that, I don't know. I didn't see any other part of the game. I didn't watch the game. I know the Raptors lost by 25 to the Cleveland Cavaliers, though. So, I mean, how does this make you worry about Toronto? Like, is Serge Ibaka a factor that you would worry about moving forward, or do you think they're just going to move past this?
I mean, in all seriousness, I think this is not, like, a huge situation. I think you can just move past it. But the playoffs are coming up. And if I see Serge Ibaka get that fired up on the Cavaliers when the game doesn't really matter, imagine if I'm Embiid, if I'm Ben Simmons, or if I'm Kyle Lowry, if I'm Siakam, a younger version, the more versatile version of Serge Ibaka, some may say, who can put the ball on the floor. What were I going to say to Serge to get in his head? I want to get him teed up. I want some free throws. I want a flagrant. Hit me, Serge. I mean, at this, take a charge. Seeing where his head is now, coming into playoffs, that's something you got to understand, something you got to look at. And as a coach, as a player, as a tactic, I might try to exploit on Toronto. Well, how do you feel about that, David? What are you looking at now?
I like this one incident doesn't really make me worry about Toronto heading into these playoffs, but man, I would not want to be Marcus Chris in that situation last night. And if you saw it, if you didn't see it, you need to just go and watch Serge Ibaka attack Marcus Chris from last night real quick. Ibaka ran at him, and Marcus Chris was just backing up as quickly as he could. So I think Ibaka's respected around the NBA, and he's not to be messed with. And Marcus Chris learned the hard way the other night, getting swung on by Serge Ibaka.
Well, we talked about the Kung Fu fighting, but I have a question. It's National Pancake Day, so I heard. So this is free promotion for IHOP. Enjoy. Never again. But who's had a flat season, David? We expected some big bangs, some high plays from some players, but who's had a flat season? National Pancake Day, IHOP. There you go.
Yeah, shout out to IHOP for sure, and I really want some pancakes. But so this guy, he's been playing a lot better lately, and their team is also making a playoff push. Donovan Mitchell on the Utah Jazz, as well as the whole team, they started out the year really slow. I want to say through the first 30 games, the Jazz weren't even in the playoff picture. And Donovan Mitchell was struggling big time compared to how he left off last year. He had a dominant rookie year last year, beat Russell Westbrook and Paul George in the playoffs as a rookie. You got to give him credit. And then he comes into this year, and it's like he took a step back. But with that being said, again, he's stepped it up a lot lately. So Donovan Mitchell's the one player that I wish he would have started out the year better. I think he could have made a big jump this year.
Well, for me, I'm just going to be completely honest. It's National Pancake Day, and I'm talking flat. I'm talking seasons with no peaks, no highs, nothing but lows. I'm talking about Draymond Green.
Flat season.
Draymond, in my opinion, should have never been an All-Star, and I said it the moment he got the All-Star votes. I like his personality. I think he's charismatic. But so is Patrick Beverley, and he's not an All-Star. There's many players out there who can do what Draymond does on defense. I take that back. There's many players that have the charismatic capability to impact a team the way Draymond does on defense.
Is there emotional
guy.
Yep,
exactly. But in terms of on-court ability on defense, Draymond's special. But as you can see, defense isn't an all-stars trade. That doesn't get you all-star votes. That doesn't get you the highest pay contracts. How do you know? Rudy Gobert crying because his defense wasn't good enough to get him an all-star, and I think he deserved it. But no, we've been letting Draymond get in because he has these two light-skinned guys make him look better than he actually is. Draymond's being exposed, and I'm excited. I'm happy. He's had a flat season, and he doesn't deserve any of the praise we've been giving him. You saw what Steve Kerr said. I'm sick of Draymond. Now, the audio.
Expletive.
The audio, we're not really sure what he said there, but I'm sick of Draymond.
You all can read Steve Kerr's lips. He's tired of Draymond. But I have a question for you about Draymond. Obviously, he's their defender, their anchor on defense, and he has been since they started going to the finals like 5 years ago. So they were the best defensive team in the NBA when they started all these finals runs. And each year they've fallen down a couple places defensively. And right now I think they're like 12th or 13th in defense. Do you think that has to do with Draymond Green, or do you think it has to do with Boogie Cousins, or it's not Draymond's fault?
I think it has to do with winning. I think it has to do with the fact that I keep winning, and it's kind of boring. I'm going to make it to the finals when we get to the playoffs because I'm going to give it all I got. there's not many teams that can actually challenge the Warriors, and they know it. So defensively, they've fallen off just because they're waiting, they're saving themselves. Steph's been injured enough, going out, playing too hard in the regular season, and then missing games in the postseason. They don't want to go through that again. So I think their lap on defensive is just – I think it's intentional, if you want to say the less.
Yeah, and they always got young guys coming off the bench with high energy, so that'll always be the same with them.
Now, my problem, though, if we can circle this thing back, my problem is that I think Draymond holds this team back. How do you say so?
Would you say
Draymond is their defensive anchor.
Yeah.
But in the playoffs, if you can't score, you can't play. And if Draymond's not on the court to put up defensive numbers, their defense is a lapse. I think the Warriors struggle in the second round against the OK City Thunder. Because Draymond's not going to shoot. Draymond's not going to shoot. And the Thunder play great defense.
Listen, Jamal, I said this to you a month ago, and you said I was crazy. If I was Golden State, I would do anything in my power to not play Oklahoma City before the Western Conference Finals. If Golden State runs into them in the first or second round, that is trouble. That is nothing but trouble for Golden State.
Do you think they lose, though? I don't think they lose. I just think they sweat it out. They play physical. They get tired. Maybe cause some bumps, some bruises. But they win, of course.
What do you guys think? Does anybody in the West have even a shot at beating Golden State? I think so. And a lot of people want to say Houston. I'm saying Oklahoma City over Houston. If anyone can give Golden State the hardest time, I'm going Oklahoma City. I'm sticking with it.
We can't ignore the Nuggets. I know they are young, but we can't ignore them. They're talented, but I'm going to ignore them. I'm going to go and say I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go to Thunder. I'm going to go to the Rockets. Those are the two teams you really want to see against Golden State to test these guys.
So one more team that's had a really flat – well, I have two teams that have had a flat year, in my opinion. Obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers are just a flat organization. LeBron James left. Everyone knows that any team that LeBron James leaves is then the worst team in the league the following year, except for the Miami Heat. But you have Cleveland. They have – obviously, they're tanking, but they have all these guys who are perfectly healthy who are just not playing. You have J.R. Smith getting paid $16 million to sit on the couch at home. I don't even know what he's doing on that couch at home. You have Kevin Love, who missed half the season. He's on an enormous contract. He finally came back like a week or two ago. So Kevin Love's finally back. And the Cavs just, they got Henson from the Bucks. Haven't seen Henson yet. The Cavs are a grease fire, but I don't want to spend too much time on them. Maybe they'll get Zion. Probably not, but I want to go with a team that had more realistic expectations coming into this year, Jamal. The Washington Wizards have a good squad. Of course, John Wall got injured, but I'll save the argument for another day that this team is better without John Wall. So I'll say the Wizards had a really flat season. They did acquire Dwight Howard, which I thought would be a huge boost for them, and he hasn't even played at all. And that's just a whole nother story in itself.
That is a catastrophe. I forgot all about D12.
Yeah, and he's a good I still think Dwight Howard is a good player in the NBA. He could still play. He can still play productive minutes. He's a good NBA center. I will give him that. But with that, we have to go to our first commercial. Make sure you don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
That's a nice bump, too.
Yeah, my bad. Didn't mean to play that bump.
That's good.
I gotta play the bump at the end when we come back in.
No, you bump it out, and then you bump it in.
You both?
Yeah. You bump it out, you bump it in.
Interesting. All right, when we come back, I'm just gonna mention that I forgot to say that I'm disappointed by Fizdale also.
Oh, we double live, baby. Oh, we doing it.
You feel me? When I come back, I'm gonna say I'm disappointed by Fizdale also. I forgot to mention that.
How about can you work it into a postseason thing? That's how I want to. I'm just do post trade deadline.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Just say what coaches are disappointed. We talk about players. It's not always their fault in their teams. Sometimes they're not. No, let's
I'm gonna mention Fizdale, and then we'll jump on to Westbrook and what happened with him, and then we'll go on.
I want to do Heat. I want to do Heat though. So we do Fizdale and do Heat. So do Russ first.
All right, I'll intro it, and I'll be like, anybody else that has had a flat season, and then we'll mention Russ after that. Let's get some questions, guys. I see my Instagram live's over here, and it's popping. I need people to join this Facebook and leave some comments, too. It's going to go on YouTube because that's where all my stuff goes now. I've perfected this fade. All right, welcome back. We're glad that you didn't go anywhere. This is First and State here with David Green and Jamal Ellerbe every Tuesday at 2:30 to 3 o'clock, excuse me. So, Jamal, we were talking about both players, teams, and coaches that have had flat seasons so far in honor of National Pancake Day. Any other teams or coaches that just have had a flat season you're disappointed by?
Well, I'm livid. I'm livid.
You've had it up to here?
I've had a full
He's had it
cup,
up to here.
and it's overflowing. I'm sick of the Miami Heat. Now, people are going to say, why? I am pissed because the Miami Heat are the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is a weaker conference than the Western Conference. And the Miami Heat are a team that are favorable, fan-friendly. This is Dwayne Wade's last year. And we didn't get to see Kobe in the playoffs. So you know what? A boy's dream? I want to see D. Wade in the playoffs. Maybe make a good Copper one, make some good shots. But the way it's looking, I don't see that happening. The Miami Heat play the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, the way it's projected. And they're clearly going to get swept. But that's not even the problem here. The problem is the Miami Heat all season have had no direction. They have set themselves up on this crash course to failure. They're the 8th seed. What does the 8th seed mean? That means you barely made the playoffs and you have nowhere to get better. The Miami Heat don't have draft picks. So there's no drafting players to get better. The best way they can do is build for what they have. They have Hassan Whiteside on a huge contract, and he's maxing out at 20 minutes. What $17 million player gets 20 minutes, and he's not injured? Dion Waiters makes what, $8 million a year? He signed a 4-year, $52 million contract, and he's only getting 20 minutes?
He doesn't know what passing is.
This team has had no direction at all. It's either sink or swim. You guys are not going to make the championship. We all know it. And you guys don't have any draft picks to sink. So what are you guys going to do? You have to make a run. You have to make some trades. And at the trade deadline, they did nothing. You have Hassan Whiteside. He's valuable. Get him out of there. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to play.
They also lost Ellington.
You have Dion Waiters. Ship him off. I'm sure he has value. You have Kelly Olynyk, whose contract is ludicrous. Horrible rapper. Get him out of there. I mean, Miami Heat have no direction, and this is a horrible way for Dwayne Wade to end his career getting smacked on by Giannis in the first round. I don't want to see it. So I'm pissed, and I think the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra decided to waste a season selling tickets. No real direction. Go ahead. Your turn, David. Who do you feel?
Well, quick question about the Heat. What do you think they should do now that it's after the trade deadline? You think they want to get into the 7 seed and maybe play Toronto instead of Milwaukee, or maybe play against the 3 seed?
Listen. First place is first place, but second place is the same thing as last. If they play Milwaukee, they play Toronto, they play the Sixers, they lose. The best team they have a chance against is Indiana and maybe Boston and then Detroit. But in the later half, with get the 8th seed and their best case scenario is getting the 7th seed, they have no chance of making it out of the first round. And after that, with no draft picks, they have no chance of getting better.
Yeah, they're in a deep hole. I think it's from the LeBron fallout still, and they were paying Chris Bosh a huge contract up until just last year.
They're paying Kelly Olynyk a huge contract, too. Let's talk about that.
Tyler Johnson, he's making like $80 million.
There's no trades made at the deadline that made this team competitive. You saw every Eastern Conference team be competitive, and the Miami Heat did not. What does that mean? That means you just want to stay in the middle of the pack, sink or swim. Either accumulate draft picks to get young talent and be great again, or try to sign free agents, do something powerful, make trades.
Yeah, the middle of the pack is not where you want to be.
They don't have cap space. This is Pat Riley. I expected better out of him. I am disappointed.
He should not have let D. Wade go the first time. You got to pay the man. Somehow, I'll get to the next segment. Somehow, Dwayne Wade has never one time been the highest paid player on the Miami Heat. Think about that for a second. Dwayne Wade has never been the highest paid player on the Miami Heat. That disgusts me to the core. Like, I can't even fathom that. But with that being said, I'm just going to say one more thing I'm disappointed by this year, and it's actually a coach. I really wanted the Knicks to get Coach Fizdale because I think Coach David Fizdale is an excellent coach. He came from the Miami Heat, won rings with them as an assistant, and I thought he was the type of guy with the type of attitude exactly what the Knicks needed. Obviously, the Knicks are tanking, but they literally have the worst record in the East, and they have some talent on that team. Coach Fizdale, I'm saying that that's on you, and you guys need to do better. You literally have the worst record, and you have some skilled players.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so
Now, this is a topic I want to ask you, David. This is less on basketball, more on basketball and the life outside of it. Russell Westbrook got into a confrontation with a fan, and Russell Westbrook always gets in a
it's not the
conversation with
first
somebody.
time.
Russ gets in a conversation with everybody, players, fans, teachers. I mean, I'm sure he was a mess.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that? What's your take?
Well, I didn't watch that game either, but there's obviously two sides to the story. Russell Westbrook was saying that the fan said some racially insensitive things to him. He was talking about his family. And I've also heard that fans in Utah have been known for saying things like this, and they say bad things to players. And, I saw that the fan was a huge fat guy. Dude weighed like 300 or 400 pounds. After the game, he was like talking to the media, like, yeah, Russell started it. He was talking crap to me. I don't know.
Dude,
I believe
what does
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook have to talk crap to you for?
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook walked up the court and said, I want him. Listen, buddy, you're the one I'm going to pick on. No, man. No NBA players picking on a fan, like identifying you. No way, man. I think Russell Westbrook is oversensitive. Yeah.
I think he's oversensitive a little bit, but like I understand his concern. You can't just be a fan and be able to say racially insensitive slurs. You can't talk about a guy's family in the middle of the game. You just can't. I don't know. I mean, obviously fans need to like be able to like, interact and participate, but not like this.
Okay, let's just be completely honest. Russell Westbrook is how old? 30?
29, 30?
29, 30. As an adult. As an adult
he needs
male,
to learn to control his emotions.
As an adult male, everyone goes to work. Everyone does. When you go to work and a customer is bothering you, there's a way to handle it. You handle it professionally. Russell Westbrook is at work. And he did not handle that customer, that fan professionally. That's all that happened to me. That is disgusting. That is despicable. You are at work. If I have to go into Krispy Kreme, Cream Team for Life, and I have to handle every customer professionally, and I make $7 an hour, and I do the same things to me, get the same racial slurs. It's happened. And you make millions of dollars, and you're complaining about it? Dude, there are things put in place to make sure these workers are compensated. There are ways to handle it. You tell security, hey, yo, him, get him. They will escort him out. I've seen it happen. Russ, you handled it wrong. You wanted to make a stink. You wanted to make a fuss. So now the NBA can try to change it, and there can be rules and put in place so you don't have to hear it and you can just be you. No, Russ, you're sensitive. This is what you get paid to do. You get paid to take these criticisms. So does Kyrie. So does Kevin Durant. All these NBA players saying, oh, we can't be talked to. Yes, you can. You get paid to do it. Just like every other employee when they go to a job. These are things you have to deal with. You sign up for it. You sign the contract that's had it. It's an underlining agreement. It's not on the paper, but everyone knows it comes with it. This isn't new. This isn't new.
I totally agree with you, but if you were in Russell's shoes, what would you do? And for those of the people who don't know exactly what happened, how did Russ handle it, and what exactly did he do, and how would you have handled it differently?
For those fans who aren't here, a fan apparently told Russ to get back on your knees like you used to, and Russ said, I'm going to F him up. I'm going to F his wife up. I'm going to F him up if he keeps looking at me. I'm going to F his wife up if she keeps talking. I'm going to F him up.
Did he say that to them? Or
he said it to him. He said it to the ref.
Wow.
He said it to security. He said it to the camera that was pointed at him. He would have said to the whole arena, big ass.
Russell Westbrook is...
You're better than that. You're an all-star. Handle yourself like an adult male at 30 years old with kids. You don't have to bother with these people who just come to talk trash to you. That's the highlight of their life. You're better than that. And at that point, you're lowering your character, you're lowering your stock. At the same time, you make yourself look bad. You're an all-star. Class.
You know that Utah Jazz fan is going to be telling his grandkids 30 years from now that he got into it with Russell Westbrook. I would too if I was him.
Lucky him. Sadly, we got to go to commercial break at this point. Stay right here. We'll be right back.
How much time we still got?
Damn,
we still got
I didn't
9
mean to go
minutes.
off like that, but that really did bother me.
No, that was good.
Bro, like what?
So we have
That's ridiculous.
So we have post-trade deadline now. What exactly do we have?
Hey, Jack.
Is it just post-trade deadline?
No.
Or playoff seeding
It's
and
playoffs.
matchups?
No, bro. I just gotta do my final take. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's you.
Yeah, all right, yeah, you do playoffs, bro. I'm just gonna do my final take.
You can when you shop Nike's
I don't wanna talk it.
collection at
Lions
But
pride.
oh
Visit
god, we really messed
downtown
it
State
all up.
College
What?
location at
The
112
timing.
East College Avenue. Or
It's
shop
fine.
with us
Yeah, it's cool,
online
but
anytime, 24/7.
I'll come back and talk some playoff teams, and I'll talk about the Pacers a little bit because I want to talk about them and give them some credit. And
you know
then
how to archive this?
I'm not sure how to do it on Instagram. I got to check. How are those comments? Can you hit my phone?
Yeah, I got
How
you.
are those? Is it already on 10%?
Russ says it was racial. Agree? I don't know. Me personally, I don't.
I wasn't there, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. This is Utah we're talking about.
Again, I think Russ is oversensitive. Get on your knees. The guy said he had heat pack on his knees. Was it really racial?
I
or
think
just
both parties
derogatory?
are at fault.
Was it derogatory? Yeah. Disrespectful? Yeah. Hey, Jack, thank you for staying here, bro.
All right, we're back. We just took our last final commercial break. This is David Green and Jamal Ellerbe, First and State, every Tuesday from 2:30 to 3 o'clock.
Yeah, boys.
So, Jamal, the playoffs are getting close. There's like 15 games left in the regular season, I believe, for most teams. A lot of people thought it was a foregone conclusion that Golden State's going to run away with it. I'd probably still pick them if I had to put money on one team to win the finals. But
Golden State versus who?
It's getting really interesting, Jamal. Well, are you positive that Golden State's going to win the West? You're absolutely positive that they're going to come out of the West and go to
If
the
they
finals.
want to win the West, they'll win the West. I'm just not sure Golden State's going to this playoffs with the same fire and intensity they normally have. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Can they? Yes. Will they? If they want it. That's my answer.
So out east, we have an absolute race with the top 5 teams. To me, one of those teams is going to fall out, and it's the Pacers because they don't have their best player, and they just don't have enough to match up with the Bucks, the Raptors, and the Sixers. So to me, it's between the Bucks, Raptors, and Sixers. And then the Celtics are sneaking in at the end, so if they get a favorable matchup in the first round, Boston is there too. So to me, there's 4 teams in the East that can get out of the East. Any one of those 4 teams can get out of the East. What do you think?
Any of those 4 teams get out of the East?
Which team in the East do you give the best chance to get out of the East this year?
No, that was the question I was fearful of. See, I think Boston, if they play the Sixers, they will get off to a hot start. That team will click. They'll beat the Sixers in like 5 games because Boston plays the Sixers the best they ever have. Brad Stevens is the greatest coach when he comes to Philly. So I think if they get to that hot start and start clicking, Boston has a good chance. But realistically, I think it's Giannis' year. I think that team is too stacked with Brook Lopez shooting 3, stretching out the floor, Giannis being a triple-double monster, especially in the playoffs when it gets more physical, and Giannis just has the strength to body any guy, and he's an automatic bucket, as you would say.
They added Mirotic, and they added Pau Gasol.
And they already had Chris Middleton. So what do we got to talk about?
Pau Gasol has 2 rings. He can shoot. Mirotic has size. He can shoot. Every single one of these players, Giannis is the best player on the team, and he's the worst shooter, surrounded by shooters.
Beautiful quote. And even better quote is Joel Embiid is the most dominant big man in the league. Boom. Hold that. Everyone knows in the East Coast. And if you have to play Joel Embiid, you have to account for him. The Bucks have added rotational guys to make sure no matter at what point Jaja is in, no matter who's in foul trouble, we can still stop him. And it's seen when they added Pau Gasol, when they have John Henderson, when they have Giannis, when they have Brook Lopez. They're going to show Joel Embiid so many matchups that's going to be hard to get into a rhythm, a confident flow of how they're going to guard you until the 3rd or 4th game. Hopefully it's not too late.
It's going to be really interesting to see those matchups. You were mentioning Philly versus Milwaukee. I think the addition for Philly of Boban, the largest man in the NBA, the fact that he's going to come off the bench and back up Embiid, so we always have that real big presence.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixers always have that big presence down low. I think will pay off major for the Sixers. It's just going to come down to coaching, in my opinion, with the Sixers. Coach Brett Brown has to handle these late-game situations better because that's the reason the Sixers have not been able to get past Boston. And I was talking to Jamal earlier. I was like, all of these Boston fans think it's an absolute guarantee that they're going to beat the Sixers if they face off. The Sixers are a totally different team now than the last time Boston played them. They got a lot bigger, taller, and they got better at shooting, better at defense. They just need to gel a little bit. I think the Sixers I still don't want to face the Sixers, or I still don't want to face Boston if I'm the Sixers, but I give the Sixers a chance against Boston.
I have not seen the Sixers play a lick of defense all season. Offense, yes, they play good offense, and they play hard, and they pass the ball, they move around. But defense, kill a team by 20. How many 20-point blowouts does the Sixers have? If you're an elite team, you're a championship team, I at least want double digits and how many times I've blown out somebody. Sixers don't have those numbers.
So, Jamal, I think it might be time for our hot take. I think you were talking about a team out west, and I think there's a three-way tie right now for the 8 seed. I might be thinking of the East with that three-way tie, but the team you were mentioning is in the 8 seed right now. Let's hear your hot take.
I got you, David. I just want to say right now, all eyes on me. I have a statement right here. The Golden State Warriors have been dominating the NBA, but their run is coming to an end. And who's going to stop them? The most dangerous franchise upcoming in basketball is the Los Angeles Clippers.
The Clippers?
The Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers are the most dangerous team in basketball upcoming. And how do I say that? I say with the utmost confidence. Right now,
Why?
the Clippers are still in the playoffs in the West. The West is a harder division than the East, and yet they hold the 6th seed in the West. Their record is 39-29 right now, which is pretty good. Their winning percentage is like 5.41%. But let's look at their numbers. The Clippers are the 7th highest scoring team in the league. They average 13. They're the 13th ranked rebound team in the league. What does that mean? Let me tell you something. They shoot the 2nd highest 3-point percentage. Behind who? The Spurs. Why does that matter? Because Greg Popovich is one of the greatest coaches ever. And Greg Popovich limits the threes. They take smart shots when they shoot behind the arc. Of course you're going to be behind Greg Popovich. But Doc Rivers is at the helm of this team. Doc Rivers is at the helm of this team, and 84% of the three-pointers they're making are assisted on. So, again, why does this matter? Why does this ball movement matter? Because free agency is coming up. And stars who want the ball, like Kemba, like Clay, like Durant, like Kawhi.
They play in the Staples Center.
Ball movement, and they would love to come out of LA. But they don't want to play with LeBron. They want their own kingdom. Come to LA. Come to the Clippers, where there's nothing but ball movement, scoring, and defense. Now, you say the Clippers are doing all this now. Why do they need a star? Because there's no one on their team that can will them past the Warriors right now.
Yeah, not right now.
Not right now. You look at this team, they have Lou Williams. They have Landry Shamet. They have Dallin Gallinari, and they have Montrezl Harrell. I'm going to say these guys are the players that are going to make a good run next year. They're good rotation players. Landry Shamet, a great three-point shooter, a great bench production player. Lou Williams, a great six-man. Patrick Beverley, I forgot to mention, great defensive presence. And the thing is about this team, they have draft picks and cap space to do it for next year. So let's just say they don't get the free agent they want.
Well, Jamal, it's Jerry West. So
Jerry West has done something spectacular. He has put fear in every team in the West. And as fact that no one's talking about right now, we will be in a few days. The LA Clippers are the most dangerous team upcoming, just because of not what they have, but what they can be and what they already are doing. Doc Rivers has a team with no all-star to the 16th in the West, above Greg Popovich.
Very impressive.
So that's very impressive. And a shooting, and they get the 7th, they have the 7th best free throw percentage, but they're shooting the most free throw attempts. These guys are getting to the line. These guys are getting fouled. They're playing smart basketball. If I'm a free agent, if I'm a star, I would want to go to a team, an unselfish team like the Clippers. And this is why, with the draft picks they have, they'll have no issue becoming dominant, becoming dangerous, and doing anything they do.
Let's not forget about that cap space. So, gut feeling going into this summer, if you are Jerry West, who are you trying to get? Who do you actually think the Clippers are going to get?
The Clippers are going to get Kemba Walker. Why? Because they really don't have a point guard.
Kemba's leaving Charlotte.
Kemba would love to go to a big market, love to be the face of something. They can get Kemba. Who else do I think they can get? I think they can get Kawhi. I think that Kawhi would love to go to LA, the big market, the quiet town. He wants to get out of Toronto. There's nothing in Canada for him. He wants to come back to the States. Everyone knows it. He's from Compton. I'm sorry, but he's from LA. He played in Compton.
He's from Cali. Same thing.
Yeah.
Any chance that Kevin Durant looks at the Clippers?
Kevin Durant and I think Kyrie decided to go to New York. They switch over there and go back to the East Coast where it's a lot easier. Kevin Durant's tired of playing hard basketball. He's like, listen, I have nothing to prove here. So now he's just going for the money. He's going for the market. New York has a big market. New York has a lot of money. So when I say the Clippers, what they can do, they can get guys who want to win, who are hungry, which is the Kemba Walkers, which is the Kawhis. And with the draft picks they got from the Tobias Harris trade, they have a first-round pick from the Sixers coming up. They have a first-round pick from Miami Heat coming up. They have 3 second-round picks coming up. If these picks don't pan out and they are late-round picks, let's trade them and let's try to move up. Bundle these things up. Let's get a guy in the draft. They have so many options and so much play that this team is the only team in the West that I think can stop the Warriors besides free agency upcoming.
Yeah, the Clippers have a great squad. They have a lot of good young guys that if they just add one star, they've already built around that star. You got Shamet, like you said, great young player. He probably the best rookie shooter. And then you have you have Harrell. Harrell's the other young guy you could help build around. So I agree with you about the Clippers, to be honest.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for the Clippers, but you heard it here first. Don't take my take. Copyrighted, Jamal Ellerbe. That's the show, guys. We went a little over, but we got heated, of course. This is First and State every Tuesday through Thursday, 2:30 through 3. I'm Jamal Ellerbe, and that's David Green.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna let the Facebook Live run for another minute or two. Is my phone about to die? Here, let me just see it. All right, this guy's trying to get in the studio too, so we'll get out here.
Yeah,
We're leaving in a second.
Yeah, we leave it now, man.
All right, we'll end
Early
this.
studio.
End live video. I hope I can save it. Oh, I can.
I don't know how to save this.
You end it. Hit end, and then you can hit save. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
It says end live.
Yeah, hit end live, and then save on the top. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate you watching. This is going to go up on YouTube later. I will post on my Facebook when that happens and the link. But we are getting kicked out of the studio, so we have to get out of here. Again, thank you guys so much for watching.
Kicked out. Kicked out.
Put that back on auto. Turn those off. Turn that off.
Scram, brats.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right, you ready to do this fucking box, man?